Hey guys, welcome back for the eighth episode of the podcast. I am sitting down in a hurry, to be honest, to record this episode. I have just a few minutes before I have to head out the door to pick Anthony up to take him for his appointment that he has this afternoon. So we're going to get right into the nitty gritty of what I thought I would talk about today. And this worked out perfect because this is a topic that I don't really have to talk a whole lot about. It's very simple, but it's also very effective for your hormonal health and balance, and that is seed cycling. Now, this is something that, to be honest with you, I have not really done over the past almost 4 years because I've been pregnant with Kinley, breastfeeding Kinley, immediately got pregnant with Hollis, breastfeeding Hollis, and then I've had like a year where I haven't been breastfeeding. I was waiting for my cycles to return. They haven't, they've been fine. So I hadn't really felt a need necessarily to seed cycle to try to support my estrogen and progesterone levels. But as some of you guys might know, I did do a Dutch test over the summer back in, it was probably July, I think, maybe August. And my estrogen levels were pretty low on that test result. And I do think, just based on like some signs and symptoms that I've had since then, that that is probably resolving from like other things that I'm doing. But as we enter a season where we are preparing to conceive again, I want to make sure that my estrogen and progesterone levels are sufficient and, where they should be, which also greatly impacts the way that I feel day to day. So, I wanted to introduce seed cycling and kind of tell you how to do it, because if you are someone that is listening to this podcast, it's probably because you're struggling with some type of symptoms or infertility or period irregularity. And this is something that you can easily implement. It's not expensive, and it's pretty effective. So, first thing we're going to talk about is what you should do during your follicular phase. So I first need to give the reminder that your follicular phase are the first 1 to 14-ish days of your cycle. So this is your very first day of bleeding up until when you ovulate. That is your follicular phase. During that time, you can consume 1 to 2 tablespoons of freshly ground flaxseed and 1 to 2 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds daily. And this is going to help support your estrogen levels. During your follicular phase, your primary hormone between estrogen and progesterone is estrogen. So that's why you want to do this during the follicular phase to help support those estrogen levels. Now, once you have ovulated and you are in that PMS leading up to your bleed phase, to your menstrual cycle, that's your luteal phase. And the way that I think about this in my mind and it helps me remember is I think late luteal. That is the second half of your phase. So it occurs later, L and L. That's just how I remember it in my mind. So during your luteal phase, you want to switch the seeds that you're consuming. The amounts are about the same, but you're going to be doing 1 to 2 tablespoons of freshly ground sesame seeds and 1 to 2 tablespoons of sunflower seeds daily. And these are going to support your progesterone levels, which is your primary hormone during that luteal phase. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do this perfectly. I don't do this perfectly, and I'm not planning to do it perfectly right now. To be honest with you, I don't love the taste and texture of ground flaxseed. It's very bland, but I think for me, it's more of a texture thing. I feel like I'm eating sawdust. And that might be me being a bit dramatic, but I just don't like it. So I am doing whole flax seeds, and I'm like, they're getting ground up a little bit in my mouth when I chew them. It is what it is. Even if that is kind of defeating part of the purpose and it's not supporting my estrogen levels as much as it would if they were ground, then so what? I'm still getting healthy fats and some fiber and a little bit of protein there as well. I will incorporate the pumpkin seeds because I do like pumpkin seeds. But then when we switch over to the luteal phase seeds, again, that is ground sesame seeds. I don't think I've ever had ground sesame seeds. and I don't have any on hand currently, so I'm not doing that right now. In this current cycle that I'm in, when I switch over to my luteal phase, so after I ovulate, I will start to reincorporate sunflower seeds, which is super easy for me because I love those anyway. Like, they're a great snack. I like them on salads. I just eat them by the handful. What I did this morning with my whole flax seeds was I put it on top of my yogurt, kind of as like a crunch instead of some granola. So anyway, I think that is something that you could, like I said, easily implement, give a try. You're not going to notice immediate results, probably. It's probably going to take a full cycle or two before you can really say, like, yeah, I think maybe that's making a difference. But like I said, there's lots of other benefits to consuming these seeds as well. Healthy fats, fiber, a little bit of protein. So, that's really all I wanted to talk about today. I don't really have anything prepared necessarily for mindset minute at the end, but there has been I don't know if you would call it a meme, a post, a statement, whatever you want to call it, has been circulating on my Instagram and even on my Facebook this past week. And I've seen it numerous times, and maybe I've seen it because I need to see it. I've had a pretty rough week this week. It's just been a week. But it says, on the days that you only have 40% and you give 40%, then you gave 100%. And I think when we are in this season of life being so busy, with us being full speed ahead into the holidays, there is decorating to do, there's shopping to do, there's gifts to wrap, there's events to go to, there's kids' Christmas plays and Christmas presentations at school, kids are going to be off school. Our capacity is a little limited maybe, and we might not feel like we have 100% to give to certain things, to ourselves, to our work, to our kids, to our husband. But when you know that and you're like, I know that I don't have 100% today, but I've got 20% and that's what I'm going to give, then you are still showing up and doing your best and giving 100% because that's all you've got to give. So I just wanted to leave you with that today, as we close out. So I'm going to read it again. On the days that you only have 40% and you gave 40%, you gave 100%.